Ms. Carter, thank you very much. Good afternoon. I had a meeting with students a few minutes ago, and I said to them that I have good news and bad news. The good news for them was that Paine is still accredited. That's the good news. Bad news for the media because the story has not changed. Paine College is accredited. Paine College is accredited. Paine College is accredited. That said, let me explain the ruling just a little bit. As many of you know, 2 years ago, Paine College was evaluated by SACS, and it was determined that there were several areas that Paine needed to address and had not addressed them in the manner that SACS thought they should have been, and therefore Paine College was listed as a non-accredited institution. Members of our Board of Trustees filed an executive order, a restraining order, that prevented SACS from taking Paine's accreditation. That was 2.5 years ago. In the last year and a half, we've satisfied all of those issues that SACS put before us, but we did something else. We also applied for accreditation with the Transnational Association of Christian Colleges, TRACS. They did a campus visit. They indicated a couple of recommendations, and they've invited us to Dallas, Texas 2 weeks from now to meet with their accrediting committee for a recommendation up or down in terms of Paine College's accreditation. The judge's ruling the other day was not unexpected. In other words, what Paine was looking for at the outset was time to get its business in order. And we feel that we've done that. Why this order at this time, I don't know. But be that as it may, it came. What it said was, there are some claims that Paine made against the Southern Association that the judge ruled were not valid. Some of them, he ruled, were valid. And therefore, until such time as the court case is adjudicated, Paine is still fully accredited. Now, we have 30 days to respond to those claims that he agreed with as far as SACS is concerned. And we will decide over the next few days with our Board of Trustees and with our attorneys whether we will attempt to address those. Two things could happen. We could address them and obviously have a continuance of the case because we can easily appeal. In other words, the case is ongoing, and as long as that case is ongoing, Paine College is accredited. Let's suppose we go out to Texas and TRACS says, and that's a parallel accrediting body, which means all the rights and privileges granted to any institution accredited by SACS. TRACS grants those same things to colleges that are accredited by TRACS. The only real difference between the two accrediting bodies is the athletic teams that serve institutions that are accredited by TRACS are normally NAIA supervised. We are NCAA serving under SACS. What the president of Paine College would like to do is have both accreditations so that we can pick and choose as to which body we will stay with in terms of our athletic programs. And if we are accredited by TRACS, we could just say to SACS, go about your business. We don't need you. But that's not the right thing to do. Even if we, down the road, don't have SACS accreditation, we're going to reapply and hopefully get full accreditation again from SACS, because everything that they said to us regarding a recommendation the last time we have taken care of those. The team from TRACS didn't find anything that would necessarily prevent us from becoming accredited by that body, which is a good thing. And that's why I said to our students today, the good news is we're accredited. The better news is we may be in 2 weeks accredited by 2 accrediting bodies. The bad news, of course, for you is it's hard to get a story when there really isn't a story. The story is we're still accredited. Nothing has changed other than the fact that we have to address the order handed down by Judge Brash. Now, I can't get into the particulars of the claims that Paine made versus the claims that SACS made, because he agreed with their claims against against Paine, but he also agreed with some of the claims that Paine had made against SACS. And so I'm not in a position where I can get into the particulars of those claims. In other words, our lawyer put on the document that he said these are privileged and should not be shared as long as the court order and the restraining order is pending. With that being said, I think I'm ready, and I want to thank our faculty, staff, and the students that are here, because they have been so supportive. And we are so driven to make sure that Paine College stays accredited and remains in existence, because this institution has fostered over the years the nurturing, the training, the production of people who have become positive additions to this community and this society and this country. And so we want to make sure that Paine remains a viable part of this community. Our student body is right at 500 now, with an anticipated enrollment next year of 1,000. And if we had a $32 million impact on this community, as the researchers at the University of Georgia indicated, think about what it would be like if we were to get to 1,000 or 1,500 students. And I keep saying over and over again that without institutions like Paine, there would not be a black middle class in this country. And some people don't realize that. They just say, well, you can go anywhere you want to go. Going where you want to go doesn't mean a thing unless you're able to graduate. I am optimistic that all the issues related to survival of Paine College will be resolved in due time. In fact, I can see it because I see the difference between what was and what now is and what it can be. Thanks to a whole lot of folks, Dr. Jones and the other members of the council, faculty, staff, and students, and people who think a lot of us. I spoke at a church yesterday in Atlanta, and there were people there that I know didn't have a whole lot of money to give to Paine. But 4 or 5 people came up with $2. I want to give this to Paine College. Put it in an envelope. Put their name on it. Handed it to me. And I came back with a stack of those. Some of them with $1, some of them with $2, some of them with $500. But that's an indication that people know what this institution means to the African American community. And anyone who says that they're not needed anymore, these HBCUs, these places that take kids who come from nowhere and give them a chance to grow and become productive citizens. Instead of getting rid of them, they ought to add 100 more. But with the attitude that we take nothing and make something out of it. I'm even looking at going out to YDC, where there are a whole lot of African American young men in prison for minor offenses and won't be able to get in school anywhere. I want them to come here and let us help them make them productive citizens again. That's the survival of the African American community. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Not here, then where? If not now, then when? To paraphrase Kennedy. Not us, then who? Ain't going to happen unless we do it. And we intend to do it. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed talking to you.